This is Pulju Brothers Outdoors.
Hey guys, welcome to the first ever edition of Pulju Brothers Outdoors. Me and my brother just got together, decided to put some video footage together and do a little just a little video, just all for fun, having fun. We both enjoy hunting and fishing, so sometimes it's kind of fun for us to bring out the camera out into the woods or onto the lake to film some footage and stuff. So on this edition, or on this video, my brother got an opportunity to head on out to Mississippi to do some late season whitetail hunting actually. So on this show we're going to be heading out to Mississippi, so stay tuned. It's about a 20-hour drive from Nimrod down to where we were hunting, so it was kind of grueling, but we were all pretty excited to get down there. Well, most of us were.
I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places.
So we finally got to Mississippi late in the evening, and we're all jacked up to go hunting in the next morning. We get up about an hour and a half before sunrise, get breakfast, get ready to go, look at the radar, nothing but rain. Go out on the porch, raining about as hard as it can rain. So we had no choice. We had to stay in the morning for a while. About an hour after sunrise, finally it lightened up, so we headed out on the ATVs and got on stand as quickly as we could.
Unfortunately, rain was the story for the first 3 days. We tried lots of different strategies, and we're mostly trying to hunt the big black river bottoms in Mississippi, and just all sorts of things weren't going our way. We had unbelievable acorn crop this year down there, and with all the rain, the deer literally had to move 100 yards for food, water, bedding. Just nothing was working for us in our favor.
Finally, on day 4, the rain let up, and we could get around a little bit more because there's been so much flooding, and we've been miserable and soaked all the time, always drying our clothes. So finally, it stopped. Didn't have to worry about rain anymore. We could just focus on deer hunting. So my brother and I, we tried a new stand, but we still stuck with our plan. We were still wanting to go a little deeper into the woods. We didn't want to go to the food plots because the deer weren't moving. We thought they were sticking tighter into the woods. So finally experienced a little action on this day.
We just got done hitting our Primo's bleat can, and literally 10 minutes this buck came out of nowhere and he snuck up. All of a sudden he's right there, 32 yards behind us.
There's one. It's got horns.
So all of a sudden, right before dark, this deer comes out of nowhere. All of a sudden it's there. We're like, holy cow. And obviously we see antlers right away. It's got some decent antlers, but we never could quite identify how big the rack actually was. And the landowner who property we're hunting on has pretty tight guidelines on the antler restrictions. So we're like, last thing we want to do is make someone mad and get on someone's bad side. So we're being really precautious about and make sure we knew how big it was before we're going to shoot it. So we're trying to make up our mind. We weren't sure what to do, and then ultimately we just decided to
let it go, can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, can't hold it back.
that was a bummer. It was tough to let that guy walk. And then what was the hardest thing is when we brought the video back to show the landlord, and he identified that buck, and of course right away it was on his kill list, because he knows almost every buck that's on his property, believe it or not. So he knew exactly what buck that was. He showed us other pictures of that buck, and we were like, wow, that is a nice buck. So we unfortunately probably didn't make the right decision, but I don't regret the decision because we weren't sure of our target at the time. We weren't sure, and the last thing we wanted to do is make a mistake on somebody else's property. So overall, it was a bummer. It was unfortunate, but I think we made the right decision.
This was our last night in Mississippi, and talking with Matthew, he tries to get the buck-to-doe ratio, you know, close to that 1-to-1, which is optimal for QDMA. So we had permission to go to take a nice doe if one came out. Well, we weren't even on stand for 20 minutes, and this little one-horn spike, he was missing the left side, came out, and he was chasing the doe around the food plot. I bet we watched him for 45 minutes. We were just waiting, hoping that a bigger buck would come and chase him off, but we just finally decided to set our sights on that doe. Alright, well, we took the shot, and this doe, she dropped right in her tracks. We gave her, that 5-10 minutes. We knew she wasn't going anywhere, and just decided to crawl down. And Cody followed me, and he was on camera. We're walking up to it. He turns, and he looks at me, and he tells me the camera just died. Like, are you kidding me? Just one thing after another with this hunt, but it's still a fun hunt, successful hunt. Cody just forgot to plug it in the night before, but thought that we had plenty of battery, but I guess it just didn't work out. But at least we walked up, we got the EV, drove out there, and we were able to take a few snaps with the cell phone, but it's still a successful hunt. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That pretty much wraps up our trip down to Mississippi. It was still a great trip. We took a real nice doe, which is a good part of QDMA. Like we mentioned earlier, you want to get that buck-to-doe ratio close, and it drives competition in for the bucks to hopefully chase each other out of the areas and brings in mature bucks. But this trip was crazy. You know, I've never been on. We hunted 6 days, and we had over 8 inches of rain when we were down there, which was just nuts. But it was still a trip that I'll never forget, and we had a lot of fun. And we had some camera issues, which you guys will probably notice when you're going in the video. Like, camera died on us the one day, and the camera doesn't have zoom capabilities, so you'll notice that some of the shots get really fuzzy as we're trying to digitally zoom them in. But hopefully before next season we'll get that all taken care of, and we're planning on upgrading some of our gear. But I want to thank Matthew, my good friend down in Mississippi, for inviting us down and giving us this opportunity, and Brad Johnston, good friend at Primos, for hooking us up with some gear down there, and he also hunted with us. If you guys are ever in the woods and you're looking for like the best equipment to call in the deer, or basically any animal that you can hunt, I highly suggest looking up Primos. They definitely speak the language. But anyways, hopefully you guys catch our next video, and we thank you.
Hard, play hard, hold my baby tight. Lordy have mercy, it's a real